So here's a little, I guess, a little information for you, a little rant. Something that I just figured out on my Subaru Outback. Now, it's been super cold outside last couple of weeks, and I've been having to boost my battery from almost a dead battery when the car sits maybe 1 or 2 nights, and I use my battery pack, boost it up, starts up right away. I drive. I do all my errands. Car stops up fine, and let it park overnight in 20-degree weather. Next morning, it's dead. So that happens when a battery dies. But this battery, I looked it up on my maintenance on the screen, and I just got this battery. And I always buy a pretty good battery. So this is an Interstate T34, and a little over 2 years. Little over 2 years, and I'm trying to remember my previous battery went kind of quick too. So why is my Subaru Outback eating batteries? Apparently, there's an issue. That could be a couple things. Um, they call it dark draw or something like that, dark power. Basically, it's a draw while the car sits, and they say that it comes from because of the elimination of uh, what's that network G 3G, and the car was designed from I got 2016 that year period. The radio and GPS or Starlink, even if you're not subscribed, is always trying to contact the signal of 3G. So every once in a while, it'll look for the signal and draw some current, and that could be one thing. And the other thing is, which I'm finding out now by doing a little research, is the car is designed to save energy for some reason, um, and it doesn't. The alternator, the the computer doesn't let the alternator charge the battery fully all the time, like old school cars. It holds it back and just keeps the battery barely charged, especially if you do not drive with your headlights on, let's say during the day. So if you have your headlights on and the car senses it has a heavy draw, it will tell the alternator to charge it up a little stronger with a little stronger current. I don't know the exact numbers, but let's say 14, you know, amps. Um, so if you're driving with your lights on, your battery might be getting charged a little bit stronger as you use the car. If you have your lights off, the car senses a lower battery draw, and maybe it charges it at 13 and change for some ridiculous reason. And it's probably for the environment or to save a gallon of gas or whatever. That combined with the night draw will kind of kill your battery prematurely. So that's a thing people complain about Subaru Outbacks and stuff. And that's what I'm experiencing. I should get more than just barely over 2 years on a decent interstate T34 battery on my Subaru. You figure tiny motor, how much does it take to crank over? And let alone the stock battery that's not upgraded doesn't really have enough co-cranking amps to really. You need extra. You just don't need just barely enough, especially if the alternator is told not to fully charge that bad boy up constantly. So what's the solution? Keep replacing batteries every 2 years, every 2.5 years, maybe less if you don't drive with your headlights on. Or they say put it on a trickle charger to have the battery fully charged whenever you can plug it in on a trickle charger. More work for you. Always buy a bigger battery. Um, that will fit the tray. You could do that with more co-cranking amps or whatever, meaning more money. And then just deal with that. Some people say you remove the fuse for that part of the system for Starlink. If you're not subscribed, you're not using it, but your microphone may not work for your to talk to the car, or your SOS signal might not go out in an accident, which could be a safety issue. I probably wouldn't do that, and probably not going to do that. Um, it's crazy. Eats batteries. It's ridiculous. Supposedly Subaru had a class action lawsuit, and they can do a flash to your computer to try to tell the car to charge it up a little bit more. Some people say it works. Some people say not really. But this just makes the case for older cars that are more simpler and better. See, I have a 2011 Police Interceptor Crown Vic, if you know from my channel, and I got a battery in there. So I don't know if you can see here. This is my Ford Interceptor. It's from the year 2020, and that's a Napa Legend battery. So year 2020, this car probably was still in service in the police department. And while my Subaru won't start in my driveway on a 20-degree day with wind chills, I jump into 2011, cranks right up like if 80 degrees outside. And this battery is already pushing 6 years old. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with a freaking old car. I hate to get rid of this car. I hate to get rid of this car. But the Subaru comes in handy with all-wheel drive and stuff. They don't make them like you used to. So that's a little bit of info. I got to go buy a new battery, put it in, and in 2.5 years, I got to go buy a new battery, put it in. It is what it is, I guess. So anyway, thanks for watching. Check out my other videos, and hopefully this gives you a little bit more information if you're struggling with dead battery, or your Outback or your Subaru eating batteries. It is what it is. So thanks for watching.